Hello everyone, this is my latest addition to my shop, and in this video we're going to be rewiring all of this. I've already started, but I stopped because I thought I would document what I'm doing. You can find this CNC unit on AliExpress. It was donated to me, and I'm going to make it a lot better wire-wise first, and then we'll move on to some other things. On the back, the wires were just sticking out of this slot. I'm actually going to put holes in here and run them out properly with connections so we can connect the wires in properly. There's a few on this back, not many. This thing, the pump originally came through here. I'm guessing it was 24 volt pump. I will use this 24 volt to switch a relay. And then I found out inside this box, in fact it's open here, the control board actually has a lot more capabilities and it's not being used. This little section here allows can control this. This is a variable motor control, so you can speed up a motor, slow it down, and this can control that, meaning that the software here can control this, which can control that. So you don't have to manually sit here and turn this. I'm not sure why they didn't, when this was sold, they didn't do that. I'm sure that was sold with this unit. But that also means I'm going to have to put another hole back here to run it. But anyway, there's a 3. Anyway, let's see. Let me put this over here. And let's just grab, I'm going to grab a 3 for now and just show you what it will look like. That's what it will do. So this is perfect. And that one. Again, this one's 5, but that's not what we're going to use. We'll use a 4. This is just to show you what it would look like. Let's see if I got one more in here. Well, of course you can see what it's going to look like because there's one right there. I mean, it's the same exact thing, except that these are... and here is another 5. So I was able to find 4 of them. I'm getting kind of short on them. I'm going to have to buy a few more. So I've been redoing my electronic desk where I do all my electronics. Oh, that's interesting. My printer just came back on by itself. So it's very bare, but that's okay. I'm going to try to keep it nice and clean this time by not putting all kinds of useless stuff on there. I used to have my drill batteries. Batteries are there, used to be charged here. I think I don't like that. It's just too much clutter. I will move all this stuff into the closet space that we were just in. But this is a great space to work on this stuff. I'm trying not to do it at my computer desk. It just seems I end up putting everything on the computer desk. And it just kind of gets in the way there. So this is pretty much one of the things that's always good to see how this goes in, and these come in from the back. And I was going through some of the boxes, tea kettle there, going through some of the boxes that this router CNC machine came in, and I found all this mess, minus this. This is the stuff that you just saw me get. But so this machine did have those connections on it. They're exactly like mine. They're already set, so this is perfect for the inside. I won't have to do anything for the inside. They're ready to go. The only problem is I'll have to do a color code swap, meaning the ones I had, if I remember right, were black, red, what was it? Black, red, white, and green. So this one doesn't quite correspond with that. We've got, only thing we have in here is the green and the red. So I'll have to make sure that I get the yellow and blue, and then who knows what the wiring is. Let's see. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll plug it in and then wire it in, and then I'll know what goes where. But that's not a big deal, actually. It doesn't matter what I do on this end. They'll be the same, because as long as I wire the other end the same, this end will be the same, and I can then plug it in. This part goes into the board down there and then runs to the back. So that's not a problem. And though here's a quick update, I'm starting to put a box around the CNC router now, using the plexiglass that was given with the CNC router. So, and to cover up, to dress up this, I have all this aluminum channel for metal traction, which I guess you'll just, this stuff. There. It's gonna go on the edge here. I'm kind of finishing up for this evening, so everything's kind of a mess in here right now, but I have things set up so I know what I need to continue doing tomorrow. This is the finished product when it comes to the box. I put these sliding doors here, hopefully you can see that. I was going to do hinges. Remember I said I was going to go up, but I changed my mind. This works out even better. I didn't have enough plexiglass to do the whole top, but I put this wood back here. This is removable. This is easy removable. That gets light down in there so we can see it. I also didn't take my slide guides all the way to the edge. That way I can take the doors off if I want to, easily. But they still slide all the way out of the way. So it is now November of the same year that I started working on this video. And as you saw at the very first beginning of this video, I have got the machine running. But there's obviously some things that I didn't show you. And one of them, you saw me bringing out these wires and all this stuff and putting these metal sockets in the back and things like that. But I never actually videoed me finishing it. And there's no record of me doing it. So I'm going to quickly catch you up, because at the beginning of it was April and now it's November, middle of November. In fact, tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but next week is Thanksgiving of 2023. I found out that this control board was bad, so I bought a new one, and it's a newer one. Usually there's an A instead of a B here. Transferred all the settings on these jumpers. It is not USB. It is parallel port. Now, a lot of the young people, I mean really young people, if you watch this, know about USB and USB-C. Well, this is parallel port. It was way before that. So this is not, it's new, but it's using older technology, which is perfectly fine. I actually like it. But it also means that you have to use Windows 7. And this, Windows XP, not even Windows 7. I think you can use Windows 7, but I'm using Windows XP. And this is a old computer that I found. I was able to buy new motherboards and everything for it. It has parallel port on the back. You can see it there. I do have this networked, not for internet. Cat not included. Hey, you want to say hello or something? Come on. I want to put you over here for a second. Okay, you can go up there too. That's fine. That's actually where she used to hang out when I had my laser etcher in here. So we'll kind of hang out in here. She really liked it in there. Now the laser etcher, I can't even speak this morning. The laser etcher is now here, and she can go around the back. So, what's wrong? What's going on? Her name's Monica, because I know someone's going to ask. Anyway, I've done all the wiring here. We're ready to go. Obviously, because I've already made something with it. I've also put limit switches in, and I took the, usually it's a emergency stop here. I've taken that off, and I've placed it up there now. So this is now where all the limit switches come in, and they're wired in properly. They go on the side of the board here. The emergency stop comes in here too, and all that runs up through a hole that's down there. Another thing I did is that this is water cooled. The spindle is water cooled. I'm not done cleaning up wires yet, but it is water cooled, and all that flows through a hole down here and goes to a radiator. So this is properly water cooled. It's not just dumping into a bucket, which is what most of these machines do. There's a reservoir down here and the pump is down there. I'll get all this mounted up later. What else did I do to this thing? Oh yeah, since this card doesn't go with this box, I had to get this extension parallel port, and everything else is the same in the back. And I know you probably can't see all of it. I'll try to brighten it up. But X, Y, and Z are here, parallel ports here. Here, I've changed this. This is where the 24 volt pump used to go. There's still 24 volts coming out of this, and it works from this switch up in the front. But what I've done is it now pipes into this little box, and inside this box is a relay, 24 volt relay. So when I hit that switch, it switches these plugs on. One goes to a pump down there, which is a 12 volt pump. The other one goes to I can't remember what that one. I think it goes to this. I'm pretty sure it does go to this. It powers this, and this is what powers the spindle. The last big update to this machine will be running multiple wires from the spindle down to that box, so that the software can run the spindle. So there it is. This is everything all finished. I've also put ventilation in, which isn't controlled anywhere here yet. I've got to fix that. And I've put lights in. Again, not controlled anywhere over here. So what I'm going to end up doing is putting a little box here and putting light control and a few other little switches here. And then we're ready to roll. Meaning that I've cleaned up all the wires, basically. But I have had this CNC machine, and obviously this isn't the CNC machine here. I figured I would show you what I've been working on for the CNC machine. So this is a 3D design, and to use the CNC machine I had to learn how to do CAD.
something I've never done before. I've done two-dimensional drawings for years and things like that, and I won't go into major detail on how this works, but I had to learn how to get, well, first how to design this so we can actually see this in 3D as opposed to 2D. I could do all this in 2D, but never done 3D before. I'm still getting used to it, as you can see with me flipping this all over the page here. 2D is a totally different thing, but I seem to have done it. And now I'm going to show you, before I actually show you what's happening in the background with all the noise, let me show you what we're doing. So this is on a cutting board made out of bamboo. So that's exactly what you're looking at there. So I drew out the whole cutting board onto here. Now I didn't bevel the edges of that cutting board just because I didn't need to. I just needed the proportions of it. Then what I've done is I added this text, and then these green lines that you see that are running up and down is the actual bit of the mill. And using FreeCAD, you can actually see this. I'm going to go in here and run. I'm going to slow it down just a little bit. So this is the actual end mill here, and it's now going to run what's happening in the background now virtually. So while that is running here, I'll explain what it's doing. So it does two passes. That's the reason you see it running back on to each letter more than once. And it's running at a speed of, I think you call it 250 meters per minute, I think is what it is. I'm running at it 250. For people who do milling, using CNC machine, you would probably know what I mean. So let me show you what's happening on the mill now. Now ultimately I will get some air that will flow through and clean it up for me, but just so you can see it again. So there's been several things that has kept me from getting to this point. One of them is that when I would cut something, it wouldn't cut to the proper proportions. Yeah, you can't see this one. But this is one of my test pieces, and originally it said default, but it left off the D. It was cutting it too big, and it was because of the step motors. The step motors are the motors that actually move the bits and the heads. It's this thing here. And to fix that, you have to go up to the software, which is running up there. It just cut off. Hold on. So in the menus, it's got all the stuff to set it up, and I was able to get that fixed. So anyway. If this finishes within the next few minutes, I will let you see it right here. All right, so here it is. Not bad at all. That took about 35 minutes, I think. Let's see. Should still be here. Yeah, there it is. 35 minutes right there in the center of the screen. And again, for those who do this type of stuff, I'm new to it, obviously, but there are several different ways to line up the head, that part there, that's end mill, to get this centered properly. What I do is I do a center alignment. So I put a little X where the center is and move this head over, which I can do, or jog as I call it. I can do that with this. Now you also have to clamp it down, and once it's clamped down and squared up properly, then you can move this
to your center point, which is somewhere under that C. And also you have to set the head. Now, I don't have a probe. There's usually a probe that comes down and then touches, and that's where what they call homing. And the way I do it is I line it up with one of these cracks here, and I take a thin piece of paper and run it across to make sure that head is as close as I can to the top of here, and then I can set the 0. Usually the 0 point stays. Let's see here. Okay, so that should read almost 0, and we're just below, and I'm reading this Z axis here, which is 1.1. I'm going to bring it up just a little bit. We'll hold it there. That's close to 0. So I should be able to take this piece of paper and almost run it under. There we go. Yeah, and there's not that much tension on that paper, so that's very, very close to 0. So that's how I figured that part out, and then everything else is basically just lining it up with your piece of wood that's on there. And there's other things that have to go into all this that help you get this done. So anyway, it's working. Look forward to some really cool stuff coming off of this machine. I've got some things lined up now. I've got a bunch of wood up here ready to go. I usually use this stuff with my laser etcher. This is stuff that a lot of you didn't know I did anyway. Let me move my door. That was done on my laser etcher. It's a very cheap one, like maybe $150 laser etcher that I've gone and put into this box down here. And there it is there, a very big one. Works great. It is controlled by this computer also, but I don't run them both at the same time. So that's it. God bless. Thanks for watching.